Hello and welcome to the show On the Spot. My name is Patrick Kamara. Tonight we speak hospitality, culture, and the Ugandan identity preparing for the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations. Now, for decades, critics have argued that government backing for Uganda's cultural identity and hospitality sector has been mostly lip service, leaving private operators, local artists, struggling youth to figure it out on their own. But as the 2027 clock ticks down, state officials insist the narrative is now changing. On August 14th, the Honorable Mary Kuteesa, representing the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, presided over the graduation ceremony of the Uganda Hotel Owners Association apprenticeship program. Kuteesa pledged to continue government backing for private sector training, asserting that practical skills are the single most effective tool to solve youth unemployment. She also issued a directive to hotel owners aggressively to showcase Uganda's indigenous heritage, from local cuisines and visual arts to traditional music, ahead of the AFCON influx. Honorable Mary Kuteesa Kamuli, thank you so much for having honored our invitation. A warm welcome to you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and good evening to our viewers. A very good evening to all that are still awake and joining us for the show. Thank you for having me, Mr. Kamara, once again. That was last year when I was going for the general campaigns.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, so I do.
You made it.
Yes, I made it, and I am back as MP Mwenge County South. Thank you, Mwenge South, for giving me your vote. And I also want to, in a special way, thank the President, because after that, he connected me with the Ministry of the People. So I am doing the work I love most. I'm connecting with the people, working for the people and serving the people, especially the men, the women, and the creative industry. So I'm the most happy employee, because I'm doing what I really love to do, and that is to work, serve people, and change lives.
Okay, I can imagine your entry is really full. Let's look at the young people of Uganda, because this country is largely young. There's an unemployment crisis in Uganda. I'm told if you go to Entebbe International Airport a couple of years and months back, you'll see many people exiting Uganda, and some of them are young people and largely women. They are going to the Middle East, to Saudi Arabia, to Jordan, and these countries to do all the jobs. It's not that they are there because of choice. They are there because the country they love and they call home has been unable to provide them jobs. Before we even talk about the problems they encounter in Saudi Arabia, in the general Middle East, what is the government doing to ensure that Ugandan girls and boys shouldn't be leaving this country to go and do all the jobs?
Clearly, Ugandan girls and boys shouldn't be leaving to go and do odd jobs. That I think the President is very, very clear, and his intention is that Ugandan girls and boys should remain in Uganda, should work for Uganda, should work and live in Uganda. Actually, the example he always uses is why work for a few peanuts across as a slave, yet you can make so much money on your farm, on your land. Uganda is a very young country. We are 18 years, median age 18 years, which is really a very young, one of the youngest populations at an average of 33 for the rest of the world. Uganda is just 18, so we're a very young country. Then we have a challenge. 30 years and below are up to 73% of our population. So we have a population of very young people that has grown very fast. Certainly our industries have not grown at the same pace. Our government public service to employ people cannot grow at the same pace. So this in itself is not a bad thing, that the population has expanded. We have a young, vibrant population. That's a good thing. The issue is now, how do we make sure these kids who are not in school, who are not in employment, are catered for? And I think government has its eyes focused on this. I'll give you examples. The President has gone out to make sure he has set up skilling hubs in all centers. So for those that have not gone to school, those that are not in school, whether you have finished P7, whether you can read or write, as long as you're able to understand the language, you're going to have a skilling center somewhere in your region where you can learn carpentry, where you can learn cosmetology, and all these things, such that there is an industry of people we are skilling to make sure they are employable. The other group is the apprenticeships. You recently actually mentioned I was presiding over
Yes.
an apprenticeship graduation. What are we doing? We're getting young people, attaching them to employers and skilling them on the job. Skilling them and training them at the same time. So they are doing two things concurrently. They are learning and being certified, and then they are having experience on the job. How do you serve a tourist? How do you serve a guest in a hotel? How do you make a bed? And these are happening all to make sure that these young people are getting into employment and are getting employment opportunities, and that we are tapping into this young resource to become part and parcel of those that are developing the economy of this country. We also have another program now under the Ministry of Gender, the graduate trainee, for those that have finished school. So every stage has got somebody trying to help these young people get employment here in Uganda.
You know,
You'd also be
everything you are
aware
narrating is that you're trying to add skill to them, to add value to them so that they can get employment. But I'm waiting to hear that in this month we have gotten this number of jobs. In the last 6 months we have gotten maybe 50,000 jobs, 30,000 jobs have been added.
No,
if people are prepared, Honorable Kutesa, but they don't have jobs, then you have not added value.
That we are on track. I will tell you two things that are happening to make sure we have jobs for young people. One is a program called Juakali. The skilled now get also capital as a standard every quarter in this country. There is money put aside as capital, whether it's in welding equipment, whether it is any skill that you have studied. There is also some capital you can apply for and start working. Make this chair that we are seated on, put it on the market and sell it. Weld something, put it on the market and sell it. So we're trying to make sure we have Ugandan products made by these young people by availing capital. So there is a chain which is growing, and I don't know whether many of you might have figured it out. PDM is a startup capital. If you do 5 goats, next year you will have 20 or 30. If you do 20 birds with your PDM, next year you'll have 100. If you decide to start a saloon, next year you will have grown it into 2. And then we are graduating them from the 1 million per person at the parish level. So the young people have 30 million every parish, every quarter. The group of women will also have 30 million. Then the disabled persons, 10. So everybody is catered for under the PDM. Now we graduate those to the next level of capital under entrepreneurship.
You know,
we increase
the parish development
capital
model, if you put 100 million in every parish, assuming the people in these parishes maybe pick an enterprise, it could be maize growing, or you're saying poultry and all this kind of stuff. At the end of the day, if all went well and you have, let's say, a maize bumper harvest, and I'm yet to see any value addition today. I'm yet to see if they go there 100%, and then you have agricultural produce there, and then what next?
You've said value addition.
Yeah.
As I'm seated here, I'm going to request, I hope my gentleman is near here, tell him to bring for me my bottle, the bag with the bottle of wine in the car here, such that I show him practically.
No, there would be a few cases
Patrick,
here and there, but
Patrick,
is that a true Ugandan story that you can be able to relate
Let
to?
me tell you, please, I have 200 products UNBS certified, value addition by women, just this year. 200 products, value added products. So you have wine, you have all sorts of things, so many products, about 200 of them, UNBS certified, ready for the market, value addition. Who is doing it? This capital, I'm telling you, second level capital now. The entrepreneurship, where they are getting about between 5 to 12 million. I'm going to show you examples of these products that are coming out of villages that you have never even heard about.
Even before parish development model, Ugandans were innovative.
Yeah.
You could still bring any product here, with all respect, but it is it's not a direct product of PDM. It is the ingenuity and innovation of Ugandans
I am going to
that
show
is
you
known always.
These are products coming from PDM, graduating to now the next level of value addition, and we're graduating them to a third level of industrialization. So the third level is actually where the biggest solution for our young people is, industrialization, and that's exactly where we are going.
So if that is the case, and that's the winning formula for government, Honorable Kutesa, why is it that we still see people clamoring to go and do jobs that sometimes their rights are trumped upon, and we see even gory images how people have been maybe mentally tortured, unspeakable things happening to them, and yet here we are in a sea of opportunities. That's what you want to present.
Well, I think the speed may not be as fast as we want to see it, honestly.
Yeah, but we don't have the luxury of walking where we are.
I wish it were like pick the bottle and you have it. But setting up an industry definitely takes time. You will agree with me that we now have an industry in Kasese. We have an industry in Mbale. These are industrial parks, not an industry, but industrial parks. We have an industries here in Buganda. We have industries set up at every region. We have industrializing. So that is the purpose, and the whole thing is government needs to create jobs for young people by making more industries within the communities where products come from the garden, value added, they are out in the factory and making jobs available for the young people. The pace may not really be as satisfactory, but Rome was not built in one day. If I'm saying there is one in Kasese, I'm saying there is one in Mbale, Fort Portal will come along soon. We are moving somewhere. These industries are set up. Gulu has, so there is a pace. We are not where we were. And once they are set up, I mean, you know Kapeka, you should be there in the morning and you see how many young people are walking into work. It can't be done in one day, but it is the exact right direction where the president is taking us, industrialization. And I think if you listen to him, if you have heard where he's pushing us to go to, he's talking about value addition, he's talking about industrialization. That's where the jobs for young people
actually,
are.
the president has talked about value addition for as long as I can remember. In fact, even from time when we were in school, he has said it. But I'm not sure whether you, his lieutenants, have been able to actually pick his mind, understand it, and turn it around. I'm convinced he means well, but I'm not sure about the people who are supposed to be working with him.
I want to agree with you that it has taken us longer to understand the president's message and turn it around. We Ugandans, not just the people he's working with. I say we Ugandans. Why? Because he has been saying work your land. We still have people who are not yet working their land. So the mindset change issue, which he started talking about as a student when he told his relatives around him to say, stop moving around place to place looking for pasture. Keep the cattle here, make sure you have the one that is going to give you more milk. If that message had been picked then by all Ugandans, we would be where those people who picked it are now. If you go through this country, the people who picked the president's message are exactly different from those who have not picked it. Thank you so much. Give me those products. I want to show you the value addition that is happening in Uganda right now.
We'll do that after the break. Okay.
Value addition is happening. So we must follow the message the president is telling us. Produce, produce, produce.
So, you know, it is, then how do you reconcile the fact that whereas the message is there, produce, and you have examples of what Ugandans have been able to do, but also if you go to these villages, including Mwenge South, where you come from, you would find young men and women still migrating to the city. Sometimes others are able to sell even their land to come and ride a board on the streets of Kampala, or even push a wheelbarrow, or maybe come and hawk. That's the reality.
It is
that you understand.
Yes, it is a mindset change issue, Patrick. It's a mindset change. Mindset change. We need to change the way we think. Money is money. Doesn't really matter where you earn it from. If I earn it from my farm, it is money. If I earn it in the office, it is money. If I earn it here where you're seated, it is money. But we have a mentality, I think, which we picked from maybe the white-collar job mentality. That is still ingrained in the minds of our young people. When they go to school, they think that when they leave school, work only means an office job. But look, the public sector is full. And people are not retiring until they are 65, you know, plus sometimes they add contracts and serve years longer than that. Now, fortunately, Ugandans are living longer, so they are not leaving the jobs, they are also not dying. That's good news. It means we must be able to make money using other means. We have an opportunity which is unthinkable. I mean, it's so nice that we haven't just understood it. Look, Congo has an unfortunate story, but it is an opportunity for Uganda, unfortunately, because they are not producing because of the insecurity they have. They need everything from Uganda, everything from a fabric to what they eat, whether it's eggs, whether it's meat, whatever you put on the Congo market will be sold. When the president said, let's open up roads such that trucks can move in and out of Congo, many Ugandans castigated him, why is he doing that? But he was totally thinking ahead. That's an open market for Uganda. Everything Uganda is producing from goats, chicken, what, will go there and earn us lots of money. So a graduate does not have to look for a job here at NTV if they can manage to multiply their goat, which they have got from PDM, and just sell it across in Mwenge South, sell it across.
But you know,
perfect market.
Talking about the market around our country, just about a year or 2 years back, because of the sloppy way how we deal with our products, post-harvest handling, South Sudan rejected Ugandan maize just at the border. Why? Because it was of poor quality. For heaven's sake, with respect to the people of South Sudan, if they are going to reject Ugandan maize, where will you sell it? If we cannot even have the skill to handle our agricultural produce in a manner that can avoid having aflatoxins and all this kind of stuff, yes, we can produce. But the world is sophisticated. They deserve better. We have not shown that we can put our superior quality products on the shelves of other countries, and they're accepted. In some cases, we struggle.
Patrick, that's history. In a few days, I will tell you why, because cabinet...
Let me add this. We take the same road when going home, the good thing. When you are traveling to Mubende via to Chenjojo, you'll see people drying coffee on the side, sometimes on bare ground.
Even maize, yes, even maize.
And cassava on bare ground. There are people there who are leaders. You have LOC1, you have sub-county chairpersons, you have LOC5 chairpersons. But people, Ugandan coffee is being, dried on the ground. This coffee is supposed to compete with coffee coming from Rwanda, from Vietnam, from Brazil. So we're going to be blacklisted. And yet along that corridor, you have leaders, including the Prime Minister and yourself.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's exactly even what happened to our tea. If you know, it's the way we looked after our tea is what made our tea unproductive or unmarketable on the market. So we definitely have a lot of teaching and talking to do with our people. So
where's the preparation and the skilling of the Ugandan young people, if that's what's happening under your watch?
Let's not leave this. Let me say what I wanted to say. This is under control now. Cabinet has already actually approved a law that is going to govern how we manage food in our community. How you move it to the market, how you dry it, how you sell it, if it is sold overnight, how it is stored. That law is coming to Parliament very soon. And so those drying food in soil and everything that affects our market is not going to be permissible anymore, because this country is the food basket for this region. So we can't afford to be careless. We are going to have to put standards and make sure that our people are told that if you're preparing this maize for Kenya, for Rwanda, for Burundi, for Europe, it has a certain standard. It's going to be, it has to meet a certain standard, and our people have to learn that, because that law is coming in place very soon. So teaching, and as you listen to I and Patrick, my dear Ugandan, please learn that we are now in an international way of doing things. You just can't dry your maize on the floor. You just can't dry your coffee anywhere. These products are now for the world. We are a food basket for the world. We must take care.
Honorable Kutesa, let me give you a very simple story of a Jewish American entrepreneur who was contracted to go and ask for payment for the Ugandan goods that had been supplied somewhere in Eastern Europe. And you should say his name because it's not a secret. It's called Joel Bellinson. So when he reached there, and the people were not able to pay, they said, okay, you are from Uganda and you supplied for sure some products. So they took him to the warehouse. And then containers full of Ugandan products, beans. And then they shoved in and removed a sample. It was full of maggots, full of stones, and full of dust. They said they tried another sack, it was the same story. They tried another sack, it was the same story. Then they took him to another supplier from Vietnam. It was clean, the right moisture content, the same type of beans and everything. He told me himself, he got embarrassed and could not ask for money. That is the situation. Now, you tell me, for a country in Eastern Europe that was buying goods, agricultural products from Uganda, with that experience, will they come and buy more?
There is no excuse for failing to meet the international standard. That's where we're going. If you want to hit middle income status, we're going to need money from across the world. We must prepare ourselves to meet the standard. And let me tell you, no Ugandan wants to produce maize and nobody can buy it. Everybody who is making an effort wants their product to be sold. So our responsibility is to make sure that our people know the standard that is expected of them, and we meet that standard. We don't have a choice about that. I think we cannot have any excuses about putting poor quality things on the world market. We have now one of our entrepreneurs who we are grooming from PDM through Web2Grow, and we has an order from Amazon. We cannot afford to mess these things. If we have an order from Amazon, it means we have to make sure we support this entrepreneur to make sure container 1, container 2, container 3 will never have a problem. That's why we are pushing our people into certification, that they understand the value of standards. Every product coming on the market must have certification. And this is...
Our name has already been maligned. Because I understand even the coffee we sell now, I always don't want to compare, but I'm told the price for the Ugandan coffee and the price for the Rwandan coffee is very different. And sometimes even the Rwandan coffee could be brought to Uganda and taken somewhere. But because of the perception we have about they have about the Ugandan products,
there are many
so
products,
the image has already been damaged.
Patrick, there are many products that come from Uganda, are packed in our neighbors' countries or neighboring countries and sold as if they came from those countries. But actually, they are Ugandan products. So we also have a problem as Ugandans. We kind of don't like ourselves. You know, when you are talking about Uganda, please understand that this is your country. God has given you only one country. Even if you leave Uganda and live in America and live wherever you live, you will be an alien in that country. You can only be a citizen, a resident of one country where you were born, this one. So I want to appeal to Ugandans, please, let's love Uganda. You know, so if we are the ones saying Uganda is bad, Uganda is dirty, what comes from Uganda is fake, look, you are writing it here that it is fake, the world will pick it from here. The internet is so smart that whatever junk you tape on your phone is actually what is going to be picked by the world, you know? It's going to be selling Uganda as if it is bad, it is what, and that's what we do most of the time. Inadvertently or maybe without real knowledge of what we are doing, but we are always writing negativity about Uganda. We need to start being proud of our country and sell it for what it is. I assure you, in this region, the person who said this is the pearl of Africa was definitely not wrong. But we, the current breed, don't seem to get that. That is important.
So okay, let me give you an example, because I don't know whether you want Ugandans to tell a lie, but if you look at our city, and I'm sure you're well traveled, even in this region, you look at Kampala, look at the mess. When somebody is coming to visit, Kampala is like the door of you enter through Kampala and then you go to other parts. But see the mess in Kampala. See how people never even follow the rules. See how the congestion. See the dust. See, I'm told even the air quality, according to Aircorp, the Makerere University entity that is always monitoring Kampala's quality, air quality. Our quality is so bad. You can spend 2 hours in a jam in a journey that should have taken you 15 minutes. Why do you want us to lie?
I'm not asking anybody to tell lies. I am asking you, love your country. When you love your country, this is what you do. You get up and you don't throw dustbin and rubbish everywhere. You don't toss rubbish everywhere.
But I also tell truth to power, like I'm trying to do.
Let me answer you, Patrick. When you love Uganda, You know that next Saturday is a cleaning day. You don't hide inside your house. You get out and participate in the cleaning. When you love Uganda, when they tell you, let's remove these kiosks, let's put people in the market, we create and open up spaces. You don't go rioting. You say, yes, you're right. Let us all as Ugandans clean our city. Let borders stop here. Let this be an area for tourists to visit Uganda and enjoy Uganda. We all agree to things that make Uganda great, the things that make Uganda clean. But Patrick, next Saturday, tomorrow but one,
Yes.
how many Ugandans are going to get out to say, I love Uganda, I am going to clean Uganda? How many? You're all going to be hiding in your houses, most of you saying, those Tebatawanya, let them not disturb us, we are not bothered. Inside their houses. Of course, government will not come and cane you on. So I am just appealing to us. This is our country. We have one home. We will never have another. Let's start loving it and giving it the care it deserves. Let's start working to improve it in every sector where it is not going right.
Let me give you an example, because in this country we have what we call the tourism city, and that is Fort Portal. Imagine somebody wants to come and pay his top dollars. What they are going to go through on that 300-kilometer journey from Kampala to Fort Portal. The pathetic road, the impassable road. And yet you want them to go and see the Rwenzori and maybe go and trek the mountain and see maybe see the chimpanzees and see the hot springs. But you have first to torture them. And then what kind of information are they going to put on TripAdvisor? But even once they move, there's not even a place where they can say, let's go and answer nature's call. I mean, I even wonder the tour guides and operators, how when they're taking these VIPs, somebody has flown from Washington, D.C. and wants to go to Rwenzori and on a 300-kilometer journey, there's nowhere they can even go and answer nature's call.
Okay.
And you start telling them you sort yourselves in the bush? I mean, but that's the reality.
No, that's a reality, and that's a reality that is under check.
And if I talk about it, I'm negative about Uganda.
No, you're not negative. But I think what you need to know is I worked in this sector. And I know that this country has got a plan to have rest houses.
It's always a plan, Mary.
Because, Patrick, please, 40 years, you're older than 40 years, Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't done everything you want to do in life, have you? So we have to allow that things don't happen in one day. It has to be a plan, but will get effected and implemented. I agree with you. We need rest places. There's no
we
doubt
can't
about
do them in
it.
40 years.
You can't do everything in 40 years. You can't. So that road is bad. True, I use that road. It is bad, but it is under construction. It is under rehabilitation. And so understand that you can't do 300 kilometers in one day. You can't. But work is actually going on in 2 sections. The progress might be slow.
What is very intriguing is that it is actually going to an NRM stronghold. Sometimes I think maybe there's too much support or something doesn't even give.
I think we have to appreciate that work. I use that road. It's my road. It's very painful to have a journey on it, but work is going on. So we have to trust the institution that because work is going on, it will soon be back to good shape. Because it has been in good shape before. We have enjoyed it when it is in good shape. Right now, it is under rehabilitation, and it's an inconvenience.
So the
period of construction is never a beautiful period. But it will usher us into a better
I want to change gears. The other day, you were presiding over the apprenticeship, the graduation of some people in the hotel industry. But when you look critically at the hotel industry, Honorable Kutesa, is that the top tier, people who are earning big monies, the managers, the middle managers, the chefs, are actually not Ugandan. And sometimes they are actually not even women. Now, you'll find the lower cadre at the lowest level, maybe women and Ugandans. When are we going to have top, maybe 5-star hotels, like where we are, like the others that are coming, and you have chefs who are Ugandan so that we can also earn top money?
What I want to agree with you immediately is I wish there were women. You know why? Because every home, there's a woman cooking. But when we go into the money, where money exchanges hands in the hotels, it changes. The women get out, the men get in. So I wish it was indeed the women. But it looks like every time there is money and good money, the men take over. So there I agree with you. I would want to see more women in these places. As to the statistics of whether they are Ugandans or not Ugandans, I would like you to give me statistics. But I think most of these big five-star hotels are absolutely employing Ugandans. I've not.
Yeah, Ugandans. You'll find the Ugandans in the lower levels. But if you're looking for chefs, they are either from Asian or from our neighboring countries in Kenya.
I think you should be very careful with that statistics. I don't think it is right, Patrick.
No, you'll find it out because I can tell you.
Most of the five-star hotels are employing 90%, if not more, Ugandans.
Ugandan chefs?
Everybody, I'm saying generally, 90% of.
Yeah, you can have 90% Ugandans, but you have this one or two people the 1% who are earning more than 60%.
Perhaps call it mentorship, and I think it's not exactly bad. And this region, in my view, should open up. We should be able to work here. They should work here. We should work everywhere. If it is East Africa, for me, that's mentorship. If you have somebody who has done it longer, has had tourists longer, if they come and work with us for some time, that should be a good mentorship program.
This negativity you're talking about, I don't know how you have prepared, for example, people in the tourism sector to be able, every time they meet somebody from abroad, they should be able to make some kind of an elevator pitch for Uganda. You know, a tour guide also needs to be prepared. I'm saying this because I've compared. I've had, in my line of duty, I've had an opportunity to travel. Sometimes you go to a country, you may not only love the flora and fauna they have showing you, but also the person who's telling the story.
True.
But the Ugandan tour guide, with all respect, some of them I've seen, they are not as prepared to sell Uganda and tell the Ugandan story. If anything, they can be warning them, but you should be very careful with Uganda.
I think it starts with our culture, the culture that I'm talking about.
But as a government, and knowing it's an entity that brings in a lot of money, you have a responsibility to prepare them so that they can tell the Ugandan story in the most captivating manner, Honorable Kutesa.
We need to love Uganda. That's the starting point. Because every Ugandan is a tour guide. Every Ugandan. If you're in a market and you meet a tourist or you meet somebody, wherever you are, in whatever space you're in, every Ugandan is a tour guide. So before we even train the few who are specifically employed as tour guides, we as Ugandans must first love Uganda and sell Uganda to the rest of the world. Then two, there's a lot of skilling going on in the tour guide industry. And I want to believe you know that in NDP 4, tourism is one of the top 4 that we're going to use to make money in this country. And so there's a lot of investment going in making sure we have the right skills, we have the right sites, we have added on archaeological sites, and the people around those sites are prepared to receive guests and to earn money from it. So there is a lot of skilling that is going on in the Ministry of Tourism.
When it comes to mountain gorillas, and I understand we actually even have more mountain gorillas on the Ugandan side than Rwanda, and sometimes even more than Congo. But if you landed in Kigali today, you may think that all the mountain gorillas are in Rwanda. Yet, the fact is they are in Uganda. Why? Because the world runs on perception, and we have not created the right perception.
And that's what I'm telling all of us. Let everybody be a marketeer for Uganda. That's what we are missing. Stop talking negative things about this country. This is a beautiful country. But if we all focus on what the world doesn't want to hear, that's the image we are branding ourselves. We brand ourselves. When you dressed up to come to this show, you had a brand. You wanted to look like something. So what do we want to brand Uganda to look like? Do we want to brand it to be the things we say about it? Or do we want to brand Uganda to say this is the country we're proud to call home? Home. Nothing ever replaces home. This is home. Let's love it. Let's sell it right.
You know, it's not just a matter of people loving Uganda and talking about it. It's supposed to be, you know, a government program that is purposed with money, with a budget to market. Some people put in a lot of money to market their countries. It's a serious business When you see somebody maybe is putting money maybe in Arsenal or putting money maybe in Barcelona, you want to tell your story to the world. You're not going to be depending on the mercy of Ugandans and the goodwill. You should be purposed, put in money, have a budget, go to the foreign capitals and tell the Ugandan story. If you look at the budget we put in to market Uganda vis-a-vis what other countries in the region, the money they put to market their countries, ours is minimal. It's a joke.
Well, I would say it could be baby steps, but we are on the right track. Why? Because we put tourism at the forefront of the things that have to take this economy to the next level.
I was a stunted baby.
Not a stunted baby. It's actually a fast-growing baby, Patrick. If you were to be fair, it's a fast-growing baby, very fast-growing. Our industry and tourism, if you take the last 20 years and where we are now, they're not baby steps. We are making good progress. The tourism industry is on budget now, definitely much better than it was in this NDP4, much better than it was the last 5 years. We certainly may not have as much money as Kenya is putting in. Of course, our economies are still different. And I agree with you, we must put in more money in selling this country. That I totally agree with you. The budget to sell this country needs to increase because we have so much more beautiful spaces to sell to the world than others are earning from and we don't have.
I'm convinced that the people running the show in Uganda are not bad people, but I'm convinced you don't get it. You just don't get it. Because if you have the source of the longest river in the world, if you have the biggest percentage of the mountain gorillas in the world, if you have the Rwenzori, if you have snow permanent you can tell the Ugandan story in different ways, and there's no any other nation in the region that can even compete. But you don't get it.
I agree.
You don't get it.
100%. The things you have said about Uganda. Uganda, you can market Uganda to be like no other country in the world, and that's true. Snow-peaked mountain across the equator. There are so many things that just pack themselves in one place. So you are so right. Uganda is such a pearl that we have not yet marketed the way we should. We must sell it better. That I will definitely agree with you. There is a lot of potential in this country that all of us must sell more. And
now, the Africa Cup of Nations is going to be here next year. I expected, if I may use the language of the Gen Z, the vibe should be now. But as if there's no vibe. And I'm wondering, even the crafts that we sell, Honorable Kutesa, if you went to the crafts market on Buganda Road, chances are the biggest percentage of the crafts we have are actually not even Ugandan crafts. We are here. The Muzungu will come from Germany, from Spain, from Brazil, and wants to go home with a souvenir of a Ugandan craft. Unfortunately, they'll go back with the Kenyan or Tanzanian craft. That's pathetic.
The vibe. Yeah, I honestly want to tell you, first and foremost, for me as minister in the sector for creative industry, we are going to give you vibe. We're actually meeting in a few weeks. I'll be calling a meeting with the creative industry to start the AFCON vibe, to start preparing the creative industry for the next level. We must make money with the creative industry. We have so much talent. We have we're so lucky. We have so many gifted people here who can make music that sells across the world. So we have a few things in the right place. The copyright law is in the right place now, so artists can make money. And I assure you that in a week or so, I'll be meeting the artists of this country to plan for the next level. Fortunately, the government, and specifically really here, we have to thank the President, has understood the importance of this industry, and he has made some resources available for them to take art to the next level.
But you see, every time you think about the arts industry, maybe the musicians and all this, you're thinking them during the time of the campaign, and sometimes it is just an exploitation.
This
really.
Is not a campaign.
I've seen them at one point go to Gulu, and the other time go to Kwapeka. I don't know now whether they are coming to Mwenge's house, but the issue is...
be fair, this is not a campaign year.
No, it isn't.
I want to give you the benefit of the doubt. I am telling you that the President has made money available for us to take the industry to the next level, for us to make sure art is happening and the art quality is going up and that the artists are earning from their art.
If you go to a party today, even a traditional function, chances are young people will be playing Nigerian music. That Nigerian music is taking over, and I'm wondering what has happened to our own. There was a time, when Bobby Wine and Bebe Cool and Chameleon really liberated us from the Congolese music. I always honor them because at one point in the 90s and the early 2000s, everybody was playing Congolese Lingala until Chameleon, Bobby Wine, and Bobby Cool came on the stage, and then they liberated us from. And then there's a group that came in with Uganda, but as of today, Nigerians have taken over.
I want to hope that my dear artists have heard what Kamara is saying about us, that we're not doing very well. So let's hit him with more songs, with more music. Let's flood the gates of Uganda with more music.
Unfortunately, they have competition.
He's talking about 3 days, 3 decades or 3 years. He's talking about Chameleon, Bobby Wine.
Why I'm saying that, because when they came in, you could actually see they liberated us for something from the Congolese.
I want to assure you that watch us the next 2 years. We are going to hit you with
Unfortunately, artificial intelligence is hitting them hard. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching On the Spot. My name is Patrick Kamara. My guest tonight is Honorable Mary Kutesa. And you made a case that Ugandan products are hitting shelves maybe within Uganda, and probably they are trying to go abroad. And you have given me a few things to see. Yes, I can see Akari Natural Spices, Gavola Masoke Clothes, and somewhere in Namugongo Strokantinda. But how am I sure dried pineapples from Wamlamira Women Enterprise in Kayunga? How am I sure? Bella Wine is even older than NRM. Bella Wine has been here for quite some time. So how am I sure that the things you're making a case for really are a product of people who have taken a step from PDM to another level?
First and foremost,
because if you even put in Bella Wine,
look, then what I have here is a sample of Ugandan products that were in my car. I have told you we have 200 products freshly certified by NBS to get onto the market. This is women supported under Uganda Women Entrepreneurship Program. We commonly call it UWEP. This is soap. They call it Mama Muzungu. Tell me why the Serena is not using this natural handmade product here.
But,
so this is from the Pearl collection.
Yeah, okay.
Shower gel.
Yeah, but okay.
This is Ugandan product, branded, the Pearl. Tell me why this cannot hit the world.
So let me give you a classic example. The former Minister of Finance, Matia Kasaija.
Cocoa. Cocoa.
Yes, but you see, you'll produce some of these things in a small cottage industry at home. Maybe you have about maybe 100 pieces. And then you get an order from Kuwait, and you not even supply it. You can maybe supply one or not even two.
That is exactly where we are going. So we have done the research. This is cassava. You eat kalo, yeah? Did you ever see kalo looking like this? This is cassava flour. So where we are going?
I have seen, for example, the banana project in Bushenyi that was supposed to give banana flour. Yes, I've also seen the toke flour and all, and it's okay. But the amount of time that has been put in this thing and the money, and decades. When I look back, I'm like, can we even get money, return on the investment?
We are here, all of these products, if you interact with the women who have made these products, they have not used capital more than 12 million. These are products, with the exception of this wine, and there are many other wines under the UWEP project I'm talking about, that are being made with capital of between 5 to 12 million. Next week, we shall be launching grants for these products to graduate from here, from this level, to factory level. to get machines for mass production.
Now, this is what happens, because I have also seen some people, even before PDM, that were doing these things, especially the dried pineapples in Kayunga and Luwero. I've seen the solar dryers and all this kind of stuff. And it is not directly connected to your PDM money.
No,
These
no.
have been...
I am telling you that this product is from OEP. There is a business expert attached to the women in their local community. They support them to look at quality, packaging, branding, and they come up with this. 200 of them. I can tell you from where it started, who has been their business expert, with the journey they have walked and the money we have given them, one by one. So these are not, I'm not just picking things from across the world. This one, I had it in the car because she gave me a complaint. She said, Madam, we have made investments in Ugandan products. I have been given awards.
I know.
And all the...
And by the way,
let me finish.
she's not very happy, by the way.
Listen to this.
I've
she
met
says,
her before.
on the functions that they are awarding me, they are busy buying foreign wine. That's why I had it. She gave me the bottle when she gave me that complaint. And so I go back to love Uganda. If you find a Ugandan product, let Bubu be real.
Yeah, but you see...
Let Bubu be real. Buy Uganda, build Uganda. Tell me, why are you still drinking other alcohol if you love alcohol, Patrick? Why are you not drinking Bella? She has so many types.
Yeah, but you see, what I'm trying to say, you shouldn't be, because this lady behind the Bella wines is a real hustler, a real entrepreneur who has been in the game for quite some time, and he has actually not even happy with the status quo and how things are. I've met her before. I could see sometimes the frustration in her voice as she explained to me.
We must support her. But you should support her as a Ugandan. I should support her as a minister responsible, and everybody Ugandan should support her. So by the way, when you find on the shelf so many red wines, pick Bella first.
Well, I think they're going to bill you if you start saying those things or not. My producer will bill you straight tomorrow. but
please, producer,
but, you know,
pick Bella first.
So, but the thing is, even before PDM, Uganda is known as the startup capital of Africa. This is one of the most enterprising country you can find. That Uganda is so enterprising. Unfortunately, the enterprises die within 1 or 2 years. So it's not something strange to say Ugandans are innovating, Ugandans are enterprising. We know it. We've always known it.
Two things, Patrick. One is expensive capital. Our capital is very expensive. And that makes most of our businesses die. Really. Our capital is very expensive. So when government is bringing in money into circles, bringing in money for people to borrow at a fairly reduced, that's beginning to take the private sector somewhere. Because our capital is very expensive.
But why have you let the capital be expensive? Your government is be in charge. Yeah, you cannot be complaining like the rest of us. You have a mandate to lead.
I'm not complaining, because the capital is not coming from government.
Yeah,
the capital is coming
the policies you have determine.
And this country has allowed free market economy, demand and supply. So the more investment we are able to attract, the more the money will reduce, because then you can attract big bankers around here. It's demand-free economy. Demand and supply determine what we have. So progressively, that should keep coming down, progressively, as we increase the economy base.
But how do we increase the economy base, Honorable?
Very good question.
When you look, because
let me tell you, how do we increase the economic base? For me, in Mwenge South, I have told the people of Mwenge South, please, please, if you have land, it's capital, do not let it to grow reeds. Put a goat there, put a chicken there, put coffee there. That is the job of every leader. We must support President Museveni in helping our people to understand that we cannot afford to have idle land in this country anymore. Our land in this country is 80% arable land, 80. But do you know how much of that is under production? Only a paltry 35%. We are not even therefore utilizing 50% of our land.
I have seen people selling pineapples on the streets. Probably they get them from Kayunga or Luwero. Wandegea. You find somebody is holding about 10 of them, and they say, you give me 10,000 shillings.
The solution is here.
Yeah,
Turn them into wine.
You know, because sometimes people produce and there's no market.
Turn them into wine. The market for wine is going to be there. Here, Nairobi, everywhere. There's going to be market for wine. So when we are producing and everything is coming out during the season of rains.
Have you met farmers who are frustrated after a bumper harvest and then they just have to sell their produce for peanuts?
That should be history.
No, it is current situation.
I'm telling you that in a world of science and innovation like today, a bumper harvest should not be something we frown. It should be something we are proud of. So tin whatever is extra for the next season. Tin it for the season when there is no bumper harvest. And we can do these things. It's not exactly difficult, and the industries have started. Tin the tomatoes, tin the pineapples, tin them up and sell them to the rest of the world. Turn them into this bottle of wine. It will get better with every year it spends on the shelf. It will not worry whether there was a bumper harvest of pineapple. So that's where we are going. Science, technology, industry.
And you're skilling the people.
Absolutely.
Because the issue here that we not only have a problem of unemployment, the entrepreneurs are saying even some of the graduates are unemployable.
And we have started a graduate trainee program. We are paying graduates, attaching them. By the way, NTV, please do apply and take some of our graduates. We are paying the attachment of graduates to you to train them such that they are employable. And we're doing this across the sectors. Engineering, communication, teaching. We just have a website where we're saying all graduates, put in your applications. If you've graduated in the last 5 years and within that bracket, put your CV. Let the person looking for an employee find you from the website. They look at your CV, they like it, they'll pick you out.
But are you?
Government is
do you know
paying
how many
that
people?
Employer.
Do you mean how many people graduate every year?
Yes.
And how many jobs are available?
No. I have just told you we have to create the jobs.
Yeah, but you see, because
we have to create
because
the jobs.
you will find yourself in a sea of unemployment that you can just take a few.
We have to create the jobs. There is no doubt about that. The jobs we need, we don't have enough. This is where we're going to create those jobs. Industrialization. Those jobs have to be created. There's no two ways about it.
As we conclude, since you are also the Minister of State for Gender, there's something eating up the Ugandan family. I say this because in most parts you go now, you'll find the issue of gender-based violence, violence against women and girls, at a higher alarming level. And in some cases, women's rights are violated by the very people who are supposed to love and care for them. So what is going on at the basic level of a Ugandan family? Why do we see so many cases? There's a women's organization, I think, called UONET. In Busoga, they even had to go and build shelter homes for women who are beaten and harassed and traumatized by the very people who are supposed to love them at a Gomborola. And then there's a dormitory where they go to stay. Now, if we lose it at that level, we are losing it as a country.
I think moral decadence is real, and we have lost values as Ugandans. We have lost values. I think in Uganda there are 3 institutions that I would say are responsible for values. One is governance under the Constitution. I think that is trying a lot. It's doing very well. The other 2 is culture and the church. Under culture, we have lost grip and detached from our cultural norms that groomed men and groomed women. So we are really not attached to the culture. Then in church, we are also not exactly attached to the church. It has become some sort of
The church itself has fallen short of the glory.
So that is where we have a problem. So the persons who are questioning you on your standard of behavior are not there anymore. Your fathers and grandfathers had a right to put you down and say, by the way, that's your wife, and we don't care what your thoughts are, respect her. And you had the call to listen and pay attention because your grandfather had said. That is no longer material these days. Many people will say, well, that's crap, I don't care. I don't want her, I don't want her. So culturally, that has shifted. Similarly, in the church, if the people are going to church, maybe it is just because it's a show thing, like every Sunday to fit in a certain community, I go to church. But deep down within us, do we actually understand the values of love that are taught in church, the integrity that is taught in church, or maybe even asked differently, is church teaching it?
So how does the government come in when we have lacked values, because we are going to raise a generation?
There is even another problem on the government side. We who are supposed to provide the shelter, the protection, have been eaten up by a worm called corruption. So if the police officer is supposed to protect the woman, the starting point is not protecting the woman. It is saying who of the two clients has more money, who will pay me. So that's where we are, a situation where a woman cannot be protected by the family culturally, cannot be protected by the institution or institutions or moral institutions, the churches. The woman cannot be protected by the governance or the constitution simply because of corruption, moral decay.
So let me also maybe hit home and shed a light on ourselves. What do you make of the absentee fathers? Because it looks like if I see 10 mothers young mothers who are 10 of them, perhaps 7 or 8 of them are young mothers, and we the men are not anywhere in the picture, and that is increasingly becoming the norm.
I don't know who is raising the men these days.
It has always been the women, our mothers.
I don't know who is raising the men, but honestly speaking, I think...
why are we scared of responsibility?
I do not know what has happened to the sense of responsibility, to the love that men are supposed to have for their children and their wives. Is it alcohol? Is it football? What is it? I can't put a finger to it. I honestly haven't
but as government, as you, the Minister of Gender, do you get a sense that probably there's an assault on the Ugandan home that you cannot understand?
There is a heavy burden laid on women to care for the families. They are paying school fees, they are buying the food, they are paying rent, and in many homes, the men are absent. Many. And so we have to ask ourselves, who is taking responsibility? Who is raising the men? What is it? What are they running away from? And you even begin to think of, has there been more attention given to grooming of women and the grooming of men has been forgotten? Perhaps. So maybe church needs to spend more time with men. Because if you go to church actually today, it is the women who are in the church, the men are not there. Where are the men? Most of the time, they are not in the markets where the women are scratching for what to put on the table in the evening. Where are they? They are probably more common at the bar. There you find more men than women. So you think about it.
I'm not sure about that.
Think about it.
I haven't been in the bar in a while.
In the course of a day, in the public spaces, where do you find more men? Where do you find more women? More women will definitely be in church. That's not questionable. More women will be in the market selling tomatoes, onions, and everything. So they're earning something to put on the table. More women will be in the agriculture sector.
So that will become very problematic. As a government, is there anything you can do about that? Do you appreciate that there is a problem?
No, definitely there is a problem, and I think...
And is there a formula for how to deal with this?
At the Ministry of Gender, we have a unit specifically created now to look at family, the family unit, to create a policy on family values. How should family be protected? How should family behave? The responsibilities of each party. Maybe we'll teach them in school, since the home seems to have failed to teach the men something.
If the government reaches a level of teaching us how even to raise children and be in our homes, then the situation is dire.
Yes.
The situation is dire.
So
it takes a minister to come and teach us how to raise kids.
My appeal to every family, please look at the young man you're raising and prepare him to be a responsible husband tomorrow, because that is what he's going to be. Prepare him. Prepare him to earn a living, to look after and fend for his family.
And not prepare her?
And prepare her. Very important, and very strongly so. Prepare her to raise her family and take the responsibility to be a mother in that home. There are girls these days who cannot peel matoke. How do you in Buganda raise a girl who can't peel matoke? And tomorrow you expect her to have a happy family, a happy marriage. She can't cook matoke. She's in Buganda, she's a Muganda. Her husband is probably going to be a Muganda. Who will eat matoke? So let's take responsibility. They are small things, but they are important. And these small things, I mean, you can't clean a bed, you can't lay a bed. I see it. I see it. For me, when I went to school, they would teach you how to scrub the floor and polish it. How many schools now have time for such values? To teach you to clean yourself, your body, your space where you're living, how to cook, how to sew, how to put on buttons on a dress. These are small things, but they actually hold the family together. So let's teach our children. If they are boys, teach them how to be good husbands. If they are girls, they must be taught how to maintain a home and raise a family.
Well, at the very beginning, you said you're passionate about what you're doing because they have put you in an area that you want to serve. And so are you optimistic that we shall turn around all these hurdles?
So next week, ladies, we are launching a competition for more money for making our products go to the next level. Please watch out. In the week to come, there will be an advert where you will compete to get money grant.
Please bring
this
that.
One is not alone.
Bring that advert to NTV because
it will come.
To be fair.
Now, next week we are also into the industry of artists. We have to change this country, guys. We have to love Uganda. We have to change it. My appeal to every Ugandan: let's do things right. And honestly, this hurts. Let's do things right, because all of us know the difference between right and wrong. Let every Ugandan make an effort to do it right. Do it right. Where you are in your space, if you're a police officer, do it right. If you are a mother, do it right. If you are sweeping the street, do it right. Everybody where you are, do it right. That's the only way we should take Uganda forward.
Honorable Mary Kutesa, Minister of State for Gender and Culture, and also Member of Parliament for Mwenge South. I want to thank you so much for the time you've given us, for the effort, for your submission, and they can see clearly very passionate about what you're doing. Your in tray is full. I hope you'll be able to reduce on the work with the tangible results. I'm rooting for Uganda. I believe in Uganda, and I know we can do better. We are good people, and we have a good country. Let us choose to build Uganda. Good night, and God bless Uganda.